Hey guys, this is the 2004 Mercedes C230 w203 1.8 engine differential rebuild. I just want to show you what happened. I think in the last video I showed you a pair of pliers or snap ring pliers, whatever you want to call them, and they were supposed to be heavy duty, but the little tip at the end broke. I didn't think they were, you know, going to last because the ring on here is huge and thick. Look at this thing. Look how thick this is. I didn't know it was that thick. But anyway, you need a big pair of heavy duty snap ring. I think this is called a snap ring pliers. Don't get the one like I got. They look like, they look better in the picture. I got them from Amazon, but I'm going to return them. So anyway, so this is the seal, and this is the other way I got it off. I think I showed you I used this. This came with a bearing kit. I just reversed these claws to go under here, and then of course it's like this, and then down here I put a washer, so the middle the middle screw can go on the washer and push that down and then push the seal up. But I did find an old an old pair of what do you call these again? I can't think of the name of these things. But anyway, I found this piece, and or this tool really, and I did the same thing. I put a washer down there. But the other video I showed you, I put some kind of attachment that attaches into a drill or a screwdriver, and the other side is like a little socket. It's built into one. So that's what I put down there because I needed to raise this, because this piece here is too thick. It won't go down, or you may be able to force it down, but then it spreads these out unevenly. So I put that down in the hole of the washer, and then I put this piece onto it, so it's pushing that piece down, and then that piece pushing the wash. So anyway, I just turned and turned and turned, and eventually it pops up. But of course it's damaged, so don't even think about using it. Now here's the piece I used, and it's very small. You can use it maybe even a smaller one than that if you want. And then here's the washer. I had to put this small washer because this hole was too big. But you can't use a thick piece of metal like I thought you could, because it raises it too much, and I don't think the claws go under it, but they might. I'm not sure. They might. Now this snap ring here is crazy to get off. I broke the other pliers trying to get it off, so don't laugh at this, but I threw this together in about like 20 seconds. I didn't make them round at the end. I made them square, because it don't matter if it's round or square, but if you can make them nice and round, you'd be better off. And one is thick, which is good, but then one is too thin. I messed that one up. I thought it was going to break for sure, and it might break now. But these bolts are supposed to be high heat, high strength bolts. They're from a car. So I just welded them on. I think this was a tile clipper, if I'm not mistaken. I remember clipping tile with this. If you look at them, see, they don't really go all the way together. So this is closed. This is what it looks like, closed. See, the bolts are almost touching. each other, or you can make them touch each other if you want. Okay, and then when you want to shape them out, you just open as much as you want, and then you go around it with the Makita blade, you know, the metal cutting blade. And make sure you keep them on the slant, you know, slant them as much as possible when you're cutting them, because that's what stops this from slipping off, which, you know, I'm not sure if it will do it now, but it did work last time. Now, I don't know if I can do this with one hand. I think I may have used two hands before. So, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, make sure you get it all the way down and flat in there. So, let's see. I don't know if my fingers are going to come off. Wow, look at that. I can't believe that came out. This thing, you know, it's crazy what you could make. But I've made tools for so many things. I remember I had a mower, and the valve was bad, but just the, I don't know, if I think you call it a stem, like the stem part, like the long part, it looks like an axle sort of part of it, was really worn down because the guy didn't, you know, change his oil. He thought, you know, like other people think, you don't have to change the oil. It's a mower, but it was a ride-on mower, and it was expensive mower. And he brought it to two places, and they said their engine has to be rebuilt. They want to charge him like $1,200. So, you know, my friend said, you know, if you want to buy a tractor, and I said, oh really? I said, what's wrong with it? And he said the engine's popping, and it's like flames are coming out of the exhaust. And I said, wow. I said, you know, that seems pretty bad, but I have another engine, so I'll put it on. But then I wind up not putting it on. I took the little cover off the side, and I saw that the what do you call it, a lobe or something like that from the camshaft wasn't, you know, pushing it as much as the top one. And I said, oh, I wonder if that's supposed to be like that. And then I noticed that it had like a curve to it, and it was real shiny, and it was a little rough. So what I did was I took it out, and I had to make a tool to compress the spring. And I made the tool. It was easy. I just made like 2 forks. I drilled a hole as close to the mower as possible. I put a nut and bolt that squeezed it together when I tightened it, and I got it out, and I put weld with my MIG welder. I welded the top of it, and then what I did was I measured it with the other one. I kept on grinding it down with a really fine stone on a grinder, and I made it nice all around the edge and perfectly flat. And it was just about, I figured the other one was probably a little worn too. I don't know why it didn't wear out all the way, but I figured it was worn too. So I made it just a little bigger, and you know, I put that in, and the mower didn't pop anymore, and I couldn't believe it. I said, wow, such an easy fix. But sometimes you have to make your own tools. Like this, I was gonna make my own tool like this. All I need is a piece of steel, and then I could weld 2 large, you know those ones, they look like long bolts? Well, you would weld them right to the side, and then you would drill a hole with a hole saw, and then you would make it, you know, like this. They have it like sort of like sharp, right? Like on a slant. That's, you know, pretty easy. Once these are in half, you just go with the grinding wheel back and forth, and you make it like that, right? But I said I don't want to go through all that trouble, because I'm not sure if I have a piece of steel. I don't know where it is, if I do have it. So I just bought this kit from Amazon. But like I said in my other video, you can buy it for, I think, $30. I paid $40 for this. and I think Walmart has it. I went online and I saw it online for $30, and it did say free shipping, so I think that was correct. But anyway, I think why this works so good, and you guys, some of you probably already know why. The location of this, let's call it a hinge. You see, it's close to here. Even though the screws are only 1 inch, the longer this is, right? If this was all the way out to here, you would never get this pin out. So the smaller, the better. So from this pin to this point, the smaller the better. So if it was all the way down to here, you would get it out even easier than I did. But I'm surprised this didn't break. I wish I would have made this one the size that I made the other one, but I couldn't see. It wasn't any light, and the cord didn't reach. And you know how you are sometimes. You just say, let me just take a chance. So anyway, this actually got it out with one hand. It's like, it's amazing. I don't know. Look at it. It looks so ugly. The fan was blowing my my gas in the welder, so it got all messed up, and plus I didn't clean anything, and I didn't even weld it all around because I didn't know if it was going to work. I didn't want to, you know, smoke up the garage and everything, and then it doesn't work. But if I ever make this again, I cut this off, I'm going to make, you know, 2 really good ones. Just make sure that the screws are really like as fat as you can make them without it interfering like with the side of here. And if it does, no problem, just shave the side down to a flatness until it doesn't interfere, because these almost interfered with the sides, but they just about fit. And these look like a quarter. They're about a quarter thick, but remember, they have to be high steel, high strength, or whatever, you know. That's something automotive or something like that. I don't think you could use a regular bolt because it's kind of soft. But anyway, if you want to make your own tool, if not, just buy it. It's like 15 bucks, 20 bucks, I think. But make sure it's like super heavy duty and it's big. You know, don't make the mistake I did. This said heavy duty, and this ain't no heavy duty. You're lucky if this is medium duty. It's over there. I need to go see them in. Yeah, so that's the one I got from Amazon. And then plus it's going back, you know. So anyway, after I got that out, I couldn't believe what I was seeing here. I thought this thing was going to be at least 1 inch thick from here to here. Look how thin this is. I hate when they put thin bearings in a huge differential that takes all of that pressure and power and force and torque. I hate that, really. This bearing should be twice as thick as it is. But it's in good condition, I think. I mean, if you look at it, it doesn't have any pitting in it. I'm not sure what the bearing looks like because it's still on. Alright, this video is getting too long and I'm talking too much, so the next video will be me trying to get the bearings off out of here with this crappy set here. And you know, I'll show you, like, maybe when it's halfway off, and I'll show you that you can actually get it off from there. I think that's about it. Now, you don't have to use this puller, okay? Don't. Oh yeah, that's what it's called, a puller. Oh God, I'm so tired. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe 2. Yeah, it's about 2:32 in the morning. So I'm tired, and I couldn't think of this, but I said the name of it before I found it. I said, "Where's my puller?" So you could use this, and you could use anything. You could make something. It's very easy. It's the piece of metal, anything. You just take, let's say this was a square piece of metal, right? That would be that top piece. You would drill a hole in the middle, bigger than the bolt you're putting in there. Then you weld the bolt on the top. Okay, now you got that piece right there. Right? Now you just drill a hole here, you drill a hole here, depending on, the distance. Of course, you have to measure, the distance, what you want from here to here, 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and you drill that hole, and you oversize the hole. Don't try to drill it the size of the screws you're gonna put through there, and or not screws, but you're gonna put something that looks like this. Okay, it could be a screw or like a kind of thick screw, and then you just weld a piece of metal on the end of it, or a really thick washer, and it's like the same thing as this, and you will get that out no problem. But don't go through all that trouble. um, I think you could put a crowbar in here and pull this way, but it's very hard. Someone has to hold this down. But the other way, all you have to do, once you make your tool, you could just screw the screw in, practically with your hand, and it'll pop up. But if not, you just take, this, and you go around, it'll pop up. So anyway, so far, everything is working out. Like I said, I was able to get this out, only taking one side off. So not too bad yet. Alright, so I'll talk to you guys in probably video 15, I guess it is, or 14. I don't know anymore. And I'll show you taking the bearing off, if I can get it off. They say I have to cut the actual ball bearings, not ball bearings, but bearings out of here, and then you pick it up from the other part. Use this tool on the other part. So although I don't want to destroy these bearings, I always like to use things for something else, but I don't care. So I should be getting my bearings tomorrow. Hopefully they fit, because sometimes they're different sizes. Sometimes they're either thicker or thinner, but everything else will fit. Don't use them. I saw some guy, he put them on here, right where these go here, and they were thinner. So he put it in, and he said, oh wow, why do I have a 1/2 inch of play left to right? Then he measured the bearings. He's like, oh man, these bearings fit, but they're thinner, because that's what happens. Sometimes you get thicker or thinner ones. And then he tried to shim it, and you know what happens when you try to shim something. It's not easy, let me tell you. So anyway, get the right bearings, do it the right way. I don't think this thing, so far I don't see any shims in here, but I don't know. I didn't take it off yet, but I guess we'll see when we take it off. Wow, this one seems to be stuck in there. Alright, see you in the next video.